Okay, Alex here once again. And this one is it's home. And I realize that there are things that I do that they're just I want to be careful what words I use here because I don't think that some of the words I use help identify they create your identity. So if I say, hey, here's the things that I do naturally. I'm resentful or I'm anxious, right? If I say that I am those things, then that helps create my identity. And if I find that as my identity, then that's how I'm going to behave most of the time. I may be able to go do something else, but I'm going to divert back to what is my identity, what's my natural state. So I want to be careful with that. Right? So I'm saying that's not my identity. I get to create my identity. So I was listening to Gavin Newsom's new podcast, and I'll put a link here because it was actually interesting. He had Charlie Kirk on. And again, Charlie, another interesting person. And Charlie was just saying, like, I don't listen to Charlie very much. You know, but I do think that I should listen to that more often because I think sometimes maybe I'm too invested in my own thoughts, in my own perspective, and identifying that this is the path, and kind of getting ingrained in my own thinking, and that may not be the healthiest thing. My point here is that the conversation between Gavin Newsom and Charlie Kirk was interesting in that Charlie was pointing out, here's how you Democrats view the world. And he was saying it's the oppressed and the oppressor. Like that's the lens that a lot of Democrats view the world from. And he's saying that more of the Republicans is there's a right and there's a wrong. And there's a right and wrong. And it just had me thinking that often I do take the perspective of there's the oppressed and the oppressor. And I think that actually is true. I mean, there are people who are oppressed. There are people who do oppress others, of course. But does that help me to view everything from that perspective? I don't think so. And I'm trying to get much better at realizing what perspective am I using to view things, the world, and is it serving me? Because if it's working and it's serving me, then great, continue to do it. But if it's not, then stop and realize that I'm looking at the world through this lens. And perhaps I should try a different lens and look at things from differently. And again, that was a very cool interview. And I am going to listen to more of Charlie Kirk's information because I find that there's value in that perspective. So I'll put a couple links, but that was pretty cool conversation. I would encourage you to check out these links.